about is UNEP, or the United Nations Environment Program. So, everybody, please turn to page 52 if you want more information. It's in your book there. You can follow along. So, UNEP was founded in 1972 to coordinate environmental activities and to make sure that nations have environmentally safe and sound policies and procedures. So, UNEP covers topics ranging from the atmosphere to marine and terrestrial ecosystem to green economy to many, many more. So basically, UNEP's job is to make sure that we have a safe, healthy, and sustainable environment, and it covers all topics related to the environment and protecting it.
All right, first topic, green economy policies. The topic of green economy puts a dollar amount on natural resources, like the value of a tree. Likewise, it would add to the cost of non-renewable resources. You guys know any examples of a non-renewable resource? Coal. Coal's a great example. Natural gases, fossil fuels. Any group that is finite that we take out of the environment that is just not clean. Again, the other side of the argument is that, or other side of it is that burning fossil fuels can affect the environment, making places unlivable. That would be the social costs, and that's just, places that would be on shore, would be taken from the gas emissions that we create. So I have a slide here depicting, it says that a tree is worth $193,000 from the amount of pollution control it creates from the tree, the water it provides, and the home for animals. So all that accounting, that's the cost of a tree. All right, next slide. Okay, next slide, renewable energy and future energy demands. From research, I have learned that energy is not as available in developing countries as it would be in developed countries. Places like Nepal would be a developing country, and USA would be an example of a developed country. This is my first time in the Secretariat. Last time I was delegate for Nepal, and me and my friend had a resolution on microhydros, which is an energy source that you create energy from falling water, and it was an implement of that, but it was a way to get energy for Nepal. This is a graph showing the fuel consumption that Nepal, the type, so mostly it is fuel was 71%. If that was USA, most would likely be fossil fuels and other coal, which is not very healthy. Energy consumption by economic sectors, mostly residential. If it was USA, this is for Nepal, if it was USA, it would be industry or businesses and industries consuming that, using the energy. Okay, next topic, marine life and ocean pollution. Ocean pollution has a negative impact on the biodiversity of life. Plastic alone kills many fish, mammals, seabirds, and sea turtles. Plastic also destroys their habitats, potentially, and it could alter their mating patterns, potentially wiping out an entire species. 86% of sea turtles suffer from plastic indigestion. So, and also other species like fish is a big one that a lot of people eat fish, and basically plastic would be getting into our diet, so we're basically poisoning ourselves, in a way. This is a graph showing how long until the stuff that we create, that we put into the ocean is gone, and it takes 600 years for a fishing line to decompose into the water, 450 years for a plastic bottle, 450 for a disposable diaper, and even if we stop now, it'll still take another 600 years before all of our pollution will be gone. The management of toxic waste must be properly handled, or the results could be really bad, catastrophic. UNEP has a program dealing with the management of toxic waste, assisting countries however they can. Innovative regulations or reduction of the amount of toxic waste produced could help prevent leaks or spills. Okay.
Okay, so the next topic we're going to be discussing is promoting sustainable agriculture. So as many of you probably know, there's 7.5 billion people on our Earth. So that's 7.5 billion people who need access to nutritious food. But still, 1 in 9 people don't have access to the food that they need to live. The Conference on Sustainable Development in 2012 discussed this issue and set in some ways to make this a lot easier for us. And it can happen through resourceful production and consumption of our resources. And this goes hand in hand with SDG number 2, which is zero hunger. And then next we have disaster risk reduction, or DRR. So examples of natural disasters, as you guys probably know, are the hurricanes in Puerto Rico, the wildfires in California. Anything like that is considered a natural disaster. And disaster risk reduction is an essential part of social and economic development. It deals a lot with the difference between a hazard and a disaster. So hazards are perfectly natural, tsunamis, hurricanes, wildfires, but it becomes a disaster when it starts very negatively affecting us and our communities and cities. So the goal is to keep them as just natural hazards, which aren't as bad, and not letting them become disasters. And that goes hand in hand with SDG number 11, which is sustainable cities and communities.
Any questions?
Yeah, any questions on that one? Okay. Next, we have the policy of a global carbon cap. So it's kind of a there's two parts to this issue. First is the cap, which basically limits the amount of greenhouse gases companies are allowed to emit into our atmosphere. And then the trade, which is a market where companies can buy and sell allowances, which allow them to emit certain amounts of pollutants into the air. And so over the past few years, this has really helped eliminate our pollutions and greenhouse gases. And finally, we have open agenda. You guys don't have to do any of the topics we've talked about today. If you see a topic on the news or just something that you're interested in that's related to the environment, you can do that in UNEP. So it's not limited to just the ones we discussed. And if you do one that we didn't discuss, there's a bigger chance that nobody else is going to be doing a resolution like that, so it's not going to be combined with something else as easily. All right, so that's everything we have for UNEP.